What's up, y'all? Coming to you from my bed of infirmity with my second case of COVID in 2 years. What's up, Omicron? Shout out, Omicron. I have a very mild case. I'm very grateful. But it's never fun, and I have super fatigue. But I'm making it. Anyway, I wanted to come here because I've been saying this in my head, and I think there's some utility in saying it out loud. I am not a geopolitical expert by any stretch of the imagination. Um, but when I see, it always feels important to me to connect what happens on the macro and what happens on the micro, and to think about what are the um, energies and orientations of our world in individual, interpersonal, um, communal, social, and global dynamics, and how can we see those things playing out across those spheres, right? And so I have really been understanding this experience with Putin in Ukraine. I'm like, why is Putin invading Ukraine? What is this? Like, what did they do to him? And the most apropos analogy that I can think of is the dynamic of when um, uh, oftentimes when a woman leaves an abusive relationship, that, they statistically, it is the most dangerous time to be inside of that relationship, because it is the time that is most likely to um, end in significant violence. And I was like, in Putin's imagination, Ukraine is like the girlfriend who left, right? Like the partner who was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to go do my own thing. And Putin is like the partner who's like, you'll never leave me. I'll never let you leave me. And I mean, you know, and on a global stage, right? Like that takes some time because Putin has to amass enough power. Russia has to amass enough power, enough troops, enough global strategy in order to, you know, go and take back what he believes is his. Um, and the reason that I describe this way is because the things that we allow as a society in our interpersonal and social lives become the geopolitical terrain upon which we are existing. We, the, I say all the time, we are society. Like, you can't change society without changing yourself, right? Like, that it requires a transformation of the way you understand things, because then you create a different outcome in the expanded world. You create a different, you contribute to a different tapestry than the one that existed before you started working on yourself, right? And so, or not even working on yourself, before you started divesting from these systems internally, right? And so, and I, like, we we are not in a place right now as individuals to change what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, right? Um, but we are in a position to change how those things play out, in our social and communal spaces. You're in the position to protect a survivor leaving an abusive situation, right? You are in a position to not be a bystander when you see violence, bullying, aggression happening. You're in a position to step in and say something. You're in a position to try to create community interventions that shift and change those dynamics. And when we master it on the small, we will have the capacity to learn how to master it on the macro level. And perhaps we will have shifted the energy in such a way that this dynamic that we are seeing play out in the geopolitical atmosphere is no longer energetically possible because we have shifted so much. It's a conjecture. It's one I'd love to see us try. Sending you all peace and love and, a radical knowing of your own divinity.